Disclaimer. I hate that I have to make a disclaimer for this video, but the internet is an absolute minefield these days. But let me clarify that this video is just a parody of modern day internet journalism and the farthest thing from my actual thoughts. Without further ado, enjoy. Hi wonderful people of all different genders and cultures, I'm Willa from PupFeed, and today I'm going to explain to you why old Doctor Who is totally offensive and why it needs to change. Everybody always acts like old Doctor Who is so good because it has stories people love, but what they don't realise is that's totally sexist, racist, homophobic and transphobic as well as cultural appropriation because it has a load of aliens that are played by humans. Frankly, disgusting, but if they insist upon defacing other planets' cultures with this schlock, the least they can do is jazz it up a little. So I have taken the time and the liberty to give Doctor Who a modern makeover for modern, intelligent audiences. Now, I will give that they at least had a member of the LGBT community run the series, but really? Only attracted to one gender? That's transphobic and sexist, and I'm very disappointed in you, Russell T Davies. Now, the thing with Russell T Davies' Doctor Who is that it's frankly for old people that were born in 1902, and completely bigoted. Times have changed now. Yes, we know gay people exist, Sweaty. Thank you for the reminder, but where's the symbolism? I can't see a single rainbow on Christopher Eccleston's V-neck sweater, and that is a problem. Also, I can't believe they waited 9 episodes before introducing an LGBT character, and the only person of colour gets shafted for most of the season. Frankly, it is offensive, and it stops now. So I figured, why not go back and jazz it up with a really progressive story to remake? So I decided to remake the worst episode, which is Dalek by Rob Shearman. For starters, cis males shouldn't write for Doctor Who anymore. There is far too much of that. See, Dalek has the Doctor being more of an antagonist in his own episode, which means feminism, so why the heck did they not double down on this? Here is my idea on how to totally make the episode super relevant for today's progressive society. So first things first, I wanted to make the Doctor and Rose in love, but it's not a good thing, as in this episode Rose will see how toxically masculine the Doctor can be in his male form. This is progressive because when Rose does finally break up with the Doctor in my version of Doomsday, we get to see how fragile white men really are, and that being in love is wrong. I also wanted to change the setting of the episode from the Utah bunker to the Natural History Museum because Doctor Who is a British show and to include Utah is to appropriate American culture. Their culture is not your TV show, sweetie. Stop it. Also, Rose isn't plus size and that is a big problem. So the Doctor has been travelling around with his new GF Rose for a bit and decided to take her on a date to the Natural History Museum when he ran into a gamer that he used to oppress, whose name was Dale K, but let's just call him Dalek. So Dalek didn't have much luck. He looked a bit of a mess and all of his gamer friends were offline. Other people like Henry Van Statten would bully him and call him names like Metaltron as opposed to his desired name 100% Sheffield Steeltron, as well as misusing his desired pronouns. Dalek attempted to strike up some common ground with the Doctor, but the Doctor just oppressed him because he's a heartless jock Chad. But it's okay because the Doctor's GF Rose came to calm the Doctor down and go to talk to the Dalek to see what's up, because women are sensitive and women are strong. The Dalek tries to convince Rose that he's a really nice guy and that they would make a good couple. We see that Rose is a strong independent woman who doesn't need the Doctor because she goes above and beyond to be nice to the Dalek, and even goes so far as to touch it, establishing where the boundaries are, but she doesn't do it inappropriately because that's bad touch. Even then, she's a woman, she can do it. Which the Dalek does interpret as flirting because it's a man. When Rose rejects the Dalek and asks to be friends, it breaks out and gets really annoyed. Meanwhile, the Doctor shows off his abs and flexes, and this is bad because men shouldn't show off. The Dalek takes down several army men and shoots up the entire museum because he knows he would make a better man for Rose than the Doctor. The Doctor starts to send the Dalek death threats over Skype, making him look really toxic. After lots of bile and rage, man rage that is, the Dalek attempts to murder Rose but can't bring himself to do it because he thinks sparing her life will prove to Rose that he's a really nice guy and that she should date him. Ugh, men's ideas of romance, am I right? The Doctor is quite frankly sick of the Dalek trying to steal his girl, and because he's fragile like that, and he starts to embrace his toxic masculinity by showing off his guns, and yet he refuses to use a hairdryer because that's not very masculine. We also get a little social commentary on rape culture when the Dalek, without consent, shows Rose his whopper. The Doctor catches the Dalek in the act and prepares to kill it, but Rose refuses to allow the Doctor to intervene. This choice is hers, she's a woman and she can make that choice, and she calls the Doctor out on his toxic behaviour. The Doctor admits what he did wrong, the Dalek realises he'll never get a girlfriend and kills himself, and then that's kind of that. He would probably have more of a chance if he were thick and made of 100% Sheffield steel, I guess. Whoosh! So basically, Dalek is now an episode about how men are wrong. Being proactive is wrong, and having feelings for anyone is wrong, and this is a good thing, and that Rose's story arc is that she'll eventually realise that you can't be strong if you're tied to a man, and she will embrace how strong she is. Super strong. While the Doctor has to try to deal with his own problems until he finally makes the switch to cis-female, before, getting even better and being more of a trans sort of character anyway. Someday the Doctor will meet his past self and see what a sexist he is, and only then, when the Doctor's masculinity makes him so fragile that he finally breaks and regenerates into a girl, and she'll wear like rainbows and stuff on her clothes. It'll be fabulous. Hey up, I'm Wilson, I'm a member of Britain First, and today I'm gonna have a nice old rag on an old favourite which has been ruined now, Doctor Who. I watched Doctor Who the other day and it was rubbish. They're so obviously pro-immigration and anti-Brexit now. Brexit won, we won, deal with it. You slag. So, I was at the pub for a pint with the guy thinking about cheating on my wife with an escort, so I figured I'd scroll my own little Doctor Who script on the back of a Guinness coaster and read it to you, which I shall do now. Once I've learned how to read, I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, so I still can't read, so I have my friend do it. Go on, son. This one is called Doctor Who and the Sovereign Nation. The Doctor had sworn to never go to America again, or show an episode of his show there again, because Doctor Who is a British show just for British people and no other aliens. He is also a man with only one white female companion, and she has big knockers. The Doctor was then deported because he is an immigrant from another planet. Yeah, if you ask me, Doctor Who should have ended ages ago. Always sends all the wrong messages to the children. Hi, this is Will from Channel Pup, and I have vocalised my opinions on not being too fond of Series 11 because I feel the stories lack the substance, adventure, and thrills that Doctor Who's kind of known for, and I feel like much of Doctor Who's appeal comes down to monsters and cool environments, and I just don't feel that Series 11 delivered much on that at all. It's just kind of bland, and I don't really blame people for seeing political subtext and agendas, or what would otherwise be subtext and stuff, as being a bit on the nose, because frankly it is really on the nose for the most part, although not the first time Doctor Who has had political agendas. I mean, the very idea of, the man stealing the TARDIS and going up against established order, having kind of a you and me against the universe sort of thing with his friends, is pretty, it's kind of a liberal stance, I guess. And the fact that he fights space Nazis is also a pretty left-wing stance if you think about it. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of Series 11. I don't blame anyone that does like it, though. Enjoy it. That's what it's there for. As always, no personal attacks on anyone. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. And if you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. It'd be fun to discuss. The world's gone crazy, hasn't it? I'm going to pass it over to Willa from PupFeed to do the subscription bit. Hi, Willa from PupFeed again, and I just want to say that if you don't subscribe and leave a like, then that's actually the worst kind of sexist, backwards, bigoted, racist, homophobic, transphobic, oppressive, cis-white, fragile, toxically masculine male behaviour I've ever seen, and that you're worse than Hitler. I hope you die. Thank you. Good night. Rose turns to the Doctor and says, "Being a man does not make you strong. Repeat after me. Being a man does not make you strong. 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 Being a